Imagine waking up and the sun itself is gone. The sky is dark, the air is cold, and the world feels cursed. Historians say this was the single worst time to be alive in human history, a time when famine, disease, and despair spread like wildfire. Welcome to the year 536 AD. In the year 536, a massive volcanic eruption, possibly in Iceland, sent ash into the sky, blocking the sun across Europe, the Middle East, and Asia. For nearly 2 years, the world was covered in a shadow. Temperatures dropped, crops failed, and billions of lives were thrown into chaos. The Byzantine Empire, once mighty, stumbled as famine spread through Constantinople. In China, reports described a mysterious dark fog that blotted out the sun. Across the globe, kingdoms fell silent as food shortages weakened armies and starved entire populations. The shadow brought hunger everywhere. Wheat harvests failed. People boiled tree bark into soup. In Ireland, chronicles recorded, "No bread for 3 years." Imagine 3 years without enough food to feed your family, watching your children starve before your eyes. As if famine wasn't enough, fate had one more horror waiting, the plague of Justinian. In 541 AD, just 5 years after the sun disappeared, a deadly plague struck Constantinople, spreading through trade routes. At its peak, 5,000 people died every single day in one city. Entire civilizations crumbled. The plague wiped out nearly half of Constantinople's population. Farmers abandoned their fields. Cities shrank. The very heartbeat of human progress slowed, leaving ruins where empires once stood tall. But what about those who survived? They endured hunger, cold, and loss beyond comprehension. Parents buried children. Kingdoms buried kings. Survival meant living with constant fear of death, yet clinging to hope that one day the sun would return. And eventually, the world began to heal. The ash faded, the sun shone again, and new generations rebuilt what had been lost. But the scars of 536 remained, scars carved deep into the memory of humanity. Modern scientists and historians agree, if you had to pick the single worst time in all of human history to be alive, it was here, in the mid-6th century. A time when the sun disappeared, famine spread across continents, and the deadliest plague in history arrived. Why tell this story? Because it reminds us that humanity has survived its darkest days. Just like those who lived through 536 AD, we too face challenges: climate change, pandemics, wars. But if history proves anything, it's that the human spirit endures. From the volcanic winter of 536 to today's struggles, humanity's story is survival. Even when the sky goes dark, even when death walks among us, we endure. And that is the greatest story ever told. So, would you have survived the darkest year in human history? Comment below, yes or no. And if you want more untold stories of history's darkest and brightest moments, hit like, subscribe, and join us here on Past in Pixels, where the past lives again, pixel by pixel.